Today on Faithfully Fantasy.
The silver hair comes from this. She's the daughter of the Venin. And that will explain maybe why this woman has silver hair, she's a Venin. Why Sorry, she has a streak of silver hair and she was scared of Violet. So maybe that silver hair is related how much Venin power you have, and maybe Sorry knows. Maybe because she has this little streak.
A little bit, she's not got a lot of Venin power.
Yes.
What if she's Xaden's mom? People think it might be a bit weird, but the fact that Xaden has such a, he likes Violet's silver hair, or it might be a comfort thing, a home thing, that maybe his mom always had silver hair.
The reason that you can see Xaden with red eyes is because he's using his shadows to hide them. Imagine if maybe all that description all along, those onyx eyes, you can create little shadows in the eyes, and that's why they look so dark. There's not even natural dark, it's just shadow darks. Yes. Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Onyx Storm.
I'm JC.
And I'm Sean.
And today we're going to be talking about this release from the magazine Cosmopolitan. They give us a big chunk of the book Onyx Storm, and we have so many things to say about it.
We do. We've been following the news today quite rapidly. We've seen some excellent lives from Bookish Kinsey and from Bookish is Better, and we've had some absolutely great conversations with our friends over on Instagram. We'll try and mention as many of you as we can. We did get a lot of messages though, so sorry if we didn't get to your comments today.
So what we're gonna do is we're going to read a little bit what you can have in our website as well. It's available there. If you're not sure, just go to Instagram and Faithfully Fantasy Pod. We have all the instructions there. You can have it, hopefully you have it already by now, and you can join us in this conversation.
Yeah, so we're going to do this bonus episode a little bit differently. We will read paragraph by paragraph, and then we will kind of dive into those parts. So I will start. There is just a random word, Venin. It's like the end of the last sentence that was just included.
Yes, I think it's just something I would think maybe start like even the alarm, Venin. And then it's like, oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah.
And boom, starts.
Venin. My heart seizes. We haven't found them out on patrol because they're already inside.
So obviously they have been looking for the Venin outside of Basgyat, but if you remember and the blurb as well, they see that the Venin are inside Basgyat's quadrant as well. So I think this is like a reference about it. And now we start to see there's some Venins infiltrated already on Basgyat, and there's not just riders.
Yeah. So have they got in again since the battle at the end, or were they already there? And how long have they been in the ranks? And I think it might be worth just thinking about when this scene might be taking place. So obviously, we'll get to this bit at the end. Obviously, it is not long enough for Sawyer to have been released.
Fully recovered.
Yeah, fully recovered. And also there's still beds and bodies. So you think it takes place very close after the battle. Then there are some kind of slight changes. So Xaden has a new rank and Garrick has a new rank. And obviously there's riders there stationed to protect Basgyat.
Yes, but I think that happens is right after the end of Iron Flame, maybe the same week Xaden has to leave. Maybe because there have been so many people have died during this big battle, they had to maybe support different posts or something, so he has to go. Violet stays there. Sawyer, we know that he is in infirmary, so he's still having some attention from the healers. I'm thinking maybe by this point, I've been a couple of weeks. I don't think it's been.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't think it
But
has
why
been.
would there still be loads of bodies in the beds?
Because I think there has to be like a process between Xaden leaving. Wherever he has to go, it's going to be like 1 or 2 days that he has to go. And then to be promoted, I think it has to be like first, like you have to go through, okay, how many riders we have now, how many like big ranks we have. Oh, they have that many. Okay, we need a new lieutenant, we need this. So there has to be like a preparation, and I think that takes time.
Do you think so? I was kind of like thinking it was a couple of days or the day after. I know this is a bit weird, but hear me out. So think back to graduation and how underwhelming it is. And they're like, right, now you're in second year, here's your new patch. I think they might have even just been like, everyone died, so you're the next rank up.
Congratulations. You've been
Congratulations.
promoted.
Now get out on patrol. And I just think he's been out on patrol.
Yeah, because one thing that we don't know is how many riders they die after this battle.
Yeah.
It's like the same in earthquake. When it's a big earthquake, there's destruction and they had to gather the bodies and that kind of stuff. There's not many people like dealing with this. I'm thinking in Basquiat as well, the people that actually are in Basquiat, because they had to go an outpost as well to reinforce, make sure the Venin stay on the other side of the walls, or they're no more coming. They're right now in high alert. So with the people they had to just spray around all the kingdom or in the ward, within the wards. And maybe there's not many people in Basquiat dealing with all the destruction, all the bodies.
Well, I think the bodies
stuff.
are mostly infantry, healers, scribes, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, you don't know. There will be some rider deaths, but I feel like most of them are going to be infantry.
Yes.
But so back to the question: have they got in again, or were they already there? I think they have got in again.
I think they've been there already. I think they've just been waiting for the right moment to just come out. Because in the blood, they say that the Venin already within the ranks. So I think they're just people just waiting for an order, and then they need to act.
Yeah. So the wards went down, and you could have had those Venin within the ranks, within the school, just like we know Jack was, couldn't channel because of the wards. And then as soon as the wards went down, that's when they started to channel. They're not initiates, these people. They are, well, these Venin. Are you still a person if you're a Venin? So these Venin are...
Like a second stage,
Yeah.
Yes.
So they've got veins, like, extending into their temples.
One thing that it would be interesting for me to know is if maybe until you're not a fully Venin, you still may be getting back to your original shape. And then when you start channeling, then you go straight away to, let's go to the second stage, when you have these red veins and in your temples.
Yeah, like when you don't practice speaking a language for a little while and you forget it, or whether you just go straight
you
back
can go
in.
back when you were the last time when you're doing it.
Like riding a bike.
Yeah, so I think maybe they're like channeling, and then when they stop channeling, because the walls or anything, the magic from the ground maybe start to disappear from the body, making the person human again. So I think this is just like in the first stages that you like going back, but then because you had this rush of power, you feel that you need it again.
Yeah. Can I tell you why I thought they'd got in again? It's because they used the word, and we haven't got to it yet, but they used the word disguised as scribes. They say they are disguised as scribes. They don't say the scribes of Venin, which makes me think they are just pretending to be scribes and they weren't there before. It's just the word disguised, because if you are normally a scribe, you're not disguised as a scribe, are you? So
yeah, but you know what? When I heard that, the people, well, the Venin, they were inside, they were wearing these cream robes. Yes, first off, they're just pretending being a scribe so they can get in, so nobody being suspicious about them. because they had the robe, they covered basically the whole face as well. So it's like the perfect disguise. But I remember Cadet Samuelson, he's a scribe. He was doing really something suspicious.
He was definitely suspicious. Anyway, we haven't even got to that bit. We're jumping the gun. Right, so they're already inside. They're within the walls, Ten bellows. Already figured that out. I swapped my daggers for 2 alloy-hilted ones at my thighs and moved quickly to hand one to Sawyer. None of us die today. He nods, taking the blade by the hilt. Marin, protect Sawyer, Rhiannon orders. Cat, help whoever you can. Let's go. So don't you think that's a bit weird that, like, Cat's not got a specific job? Rhiannon's just like, help where you can help.
Yes. Just for the people, they have forgotten who Marin is. Marin is a flyer. She is Cat's best friend. She was a cadet from Clisban Fly Academy, but then she was moved to Aresia, same as Catriona. They are in the same squad, that's why they are best friends.
And she likes Violet, doesn't she?
Yes.
She like, is a bit embarrassed about Cat sometimes.
Yes. But something else that I had to say. Sawyer is there in infirmary. I was expecting some reference about Yesenia. She's not there. And Kat is there since... Well, I guess because the end of Iron Plan is maybe not many time between. We're going to say maybe a few days, like you say, maybe, or a couple of weeks. So overall, I don't think it's more than a month since the end of Iron Plan to this point. Kat is there with Sawyer. See, you think that maybe something's going on between them, maybe in the end, so they were not expecting.
Maybe, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that. I had thought about where Yesenia was, though.
Yeah, like I said, why Yesenia is not there, but Kat was the one who was taking Sawyer to infirmary when the battle ends. She was with him when her leg was chopped off, and then they had to go to the healers.
Yeah, I tend to think the reason she took him was because she had a griffin, and she's used to the fighting. Yesenia wouldn't be used to a battle situation. I tend to think it's normal that it would be somebody who was like on the ground taking them, but I do think it's strange that Yesenia isn't there.
Yeah, because what she would been doing, like making sure that no Venin stole the books from the archives, like they're really busy in the archives.
So Sawyer says, I guess I'll just stay here. Sawyer calls after us, muttering a swear word as we take off, sprinting between the rows of infirmary beds.
So Sawyer is not happy about his current situation. He used to be like a really useful rider for battle, for everything. And now he might start feeling like a liability for the squad.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think he'll get a leg. He obviously hasn't got a metal leg. He obviously hasn't got one in this time frame. But I think he could also, like, presumably he can still channel. Presumably he can still do stuff from the bed. Like, in a minute, he said, lock the doors. He could probably, like, bend the metal so nobody could open the door.
Yes, it's more about the other rider stuff, like mounting the dragon, jumping from the dragon, fighting on ground, that kind of stuff. They obviously not having a leg. He will be limited for this unless then maybe he managed to get like an amazing metal leg that he can do a lot of stuff. But for me, like the thing that concerns me is if he starts to feel down for his current situation.
No, you think he's going to channel, don't you?
Well, Rebecca Yarrow said that she's been building like this character arc, like really detailed stuff. So the thing that I don't know is going to be for good or for bad.
Oh, I want it to be for good. He mutters a swear word as we take off, sprinting through the rows of infirmary beds. We're the first to make it to the doors, where Winifred holds the wailing infantry cadet by his upper arms. I want to talk about this. Winifred. Like, two things here. I wonder what the relationship between Violet and Winifred is like after Nolan, who is her husband, betrayed Violet so badly with the lemonade. Kelly on Instagram was wondering where Nolan is in all of this, and I am completely with you, Kelly. Where is he? Did he survive? Or the last thing we hear about Nolan is where Xaden says he will die for his part.
Yes.
Is he still alive? And if he isn't, how's Winifred feeling about that? Just the name drop of Winifred made me like spiral.
Yes, for me, it's the same. I had in my notes as well. Where is Nolan? It's like the first thought, and then the second one. Did he maybe apologize to Violet? Like, I'm sorry, I thought you were betraying Navarre. I didn't know anything about Venin, Wyvern, or all that kind of stuff. I mean, you had to give him he's the same as Dane. He was thinking that he was doing the right thing. The Violet was maybe spending too much time with Xaden, and Xaden manipulate her to join the revolution.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's interesting to know where is he. Is he mending something else, somebody else? Is still with Jack, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, Winifred is quite occupied. She holds the wailing infantry cadet by his upper arms. Who is this wailing infantry cadet? Why is he wailing? Winifred's like restraining him. Obviously, he's having a terrible time.
Yeah.
I wonder what's happened.
Well, she's an expert in potions, I think. So maybe it's going something strong that need to hold him, so it doesn't hurt himself or doesn't run away.
Maybe. We don't hear anything about him. Yeah. So obviously, and it says holds the wailing infantry cadet. So like we're already supposed to know about him or her. I said him. I assumed it was a him, but it could equally be a her or a they. So before this, we obviously hear about the wailing infantry cadet. It's not the first time we hear about him, so there'll be something explaining what made them wail. Violet, don't go out there, she starts. Lock the doors, I shout as we run through. Like that's going to stop them. Riddick challenges as we enter the tunnel. Then all three of us skid to a halt at the sight before us. The blankets on every overflow bed down the hallway have been thrown back, revealing desiccated bodies. Riddick has quite a big role to play in this scene, doesn't he? I really love that he's there with Rhee and that Violet's fighting with the two of them. Lish, who is great on Instagram, Lishful Reading, is suspicious of Riddick and says that something doesn't feel right.
Suspicious about Riddick?
Yeah.
Just because, or specifically for something?
So I think
something's off.
The main reason is that she sent me a clip of Rebecca Yarros being interviewed, and we've seen it before because she shared it before, and she likes Riddick. So Rebecca Yarros is being asked to pick between two characters, and she keeps Riddick for a while, and then the interviewer says Jacinia or Riddick, and she very nearly says Jacinia and then changes her mind to Riddick. So Lish can't get past the fact that she nearly picked Jacinia over Riddick. I think he's like, he feels good in this scene though, so I need to carry on having the chats to work out what I'm missing.
Well, for me, he's kind of like serious, but they are not really serious threat. Yeah, they're not attacking. Yeah, they're not attacking by flyer. They're attacking by Venin again. So after he saw what happened the first time, he might be like maybe feeling off or feeling different, because could be this time his time.
Yeah.
That's the thing when you're thinking when you're going to face a Venin.
Yeah. And they've got overflow beds down the hallway, right? So this is what makes me think it is so soon after the battle. Because in a crisis, you would have like bring in all the beds and they'd be down the corridors in the hotel. And this is the situation that's happening now. The tunnel, which leads to the infirmary, we've been down there a few times. I think Dane's carried Violet across there or something.
Yeah.
That is now full of beds. I feel like they wouldn't still be there months after the battle.
Well, no month, weeks.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
for me, it's more about Xaden leaving, Xaden coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I give him a little bit of time, because that when he was going to Samar and that kind of stuff, the minimum they can like spend away was like a week.
Days.
Yeah.
I still think it's a few days.
Yeah.
And so the bedding, the blankets on all of those beds have been thrown back, revealing desiccated bodies. So people who were injured in the battle now desiccated, which makes it seem like the venin couldn't drain from the ground, so they were draining from the bodies.
Yes.
Gross. My stomach plummets. how did this happen so fast? Again, I think it's immediately after. Oh shit. Riddick draws another dagger at my right as 2 more riders sprint through the infirmary doors behind us, both from second wing. I reach for Xaden and find his shields not only up, but impenetrable. This is weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can normally get through his bonds, his shields, even if they are, like, up.
Yes.
Because we know that because she sensed him when his shields were up at Samara when he was sparring in the pit.
Yes. But he is still a Venin. He is still let's go to say first stage. And that stage, his signet, everything that's related to magic has been boosted. And I'm saying this because by the end of Iron Flame, when Xaden goes to talk to Jack Barlow, he is using his shadows. And even I think there's a part when he feels like surprised about how powerful are the shadows now. That he even said I'm too surprised about this, like the signet or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I think that is giving that boost. So he's still having this power and even for shield.
Yeah.
Still.
I like that. I really do like that.
So she tried to reach to Xaden, but she can't. The thing that is weird for me as well is that by this moment he should be on her way. He's already in Basgiard and he's just running to find her because it's just a few more scenes until he is with her.
Mm-hmm.
So what he was doing to kill a shield so up, so impenetrable, if he was just getting closer?
Maybe he can't let anyone know. Because he's very, very paranoid about there being somebody better than you at something, and he's maybe paranoid that there are some intrinsics around, and he's got to keep it secret that he's a Venin, because I do think that they're keeping it a secret. And K-Dove on Instagram also thinks that this kind of confirms that they're keeping it a secret together. So when he arrives at the end, spoiler. But perhaps he's just so paranoid he can't let it out that he's keeping his shields up at all times.
Yes, that makes sense. Maybe he's doing it to protect himself, but at the same time, because he's still like a Venin, he still maybe has some power from the ground. He is really powerful right now.
Yeah, so I was thinking that perhaps, because they don't speak mind to mind, my first thought was that Sorrengail had actually temporarily broken the bond, but he's not got red eyes, so he's obviously channeling, and he's using his shadow, so he's obviously channeling from somewhere. He's not channeling from the ground, because you would see it in his eyes. So I think this hopefully confirms that Sorrengail hasn't broken the bond with him. I know that the blurb as well potentially confirms that.
Rebecca Jarros was the one who said that Sorrengail won't be talking to Xaden, at least from at the beginning of the book. So it will be interesting to see maybe if he does something again, and is that something that makes Sorrengail say like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, but
I'm done with you.
Again, they do speak mind to mind in the blurb, so something happens where I get the connection back. So I think this probably confirms that she hasn't yet broken the bond with him. The shield's not only up, but impenetrable. Frustrating, but fine. I'm perfectly capable of fighting on my own, and I have Riddick and Ree with me. You do not have a conduit, Tern reminds me, which means I can't pinpoint my lightning strikes, especially not indoors. I've always been far more accurate with my daggers than my own power. Has she tried to pinpoint lightning strikes inside before?
I think she was learning with Felix, I think.
Not inside.
No, but it started like little things first. So instead of like a proper lightning.
Yeah, just like tingly fingers.
Exactly.
Warn whoever's riders guard the ward stone. Already done, he replies. So is she suspicious here that they might be trying to take down the wards again?
Yes, it makes sense because the attack, it was just recently, so it might happen again.
And they're not as, they're weaker, aren't they, with the wards?
Yes.
So the wards are still up? Are we thinking they're still up?
I think so. The only thing it will be interesting to find out is if Brennan is still in Basgard or if right after that he went back to Aracia.
So many weird things. I want to know where loads of people is, but I'll get there. Right. So check the bridge. Rhiannon commands. Sorry, I'm not doing this very emotively. Check the bridge. Rhiannon commands the two from Second Wing. So can we trust them? She's told them to go and check the bridge. Can we trust them?
Yeah, I think so.
Second Wing? Not sure. And they take off towards the Riders' Quadrant. Bring their bodies outside once you're done killing them so we can roast them for fun, Andana suggests.
Yeah, she's still a wild one as a teenager.
Not right now. I calm my breath and concentrate. Eyes open, Rhiannon says. Her voice as steady as her hand as she pulls an alloy-hilted dagger and moves to my left. Let's go. Sorry. Let's go. Let's go! Then we move as one, quiet and quick, as we make our way down the hall. I keep my eyes forward as Rhi and Riddick check left and right, respectively, and their silence tells me all I need to know. There are no survivors. We follow the curve of the tunnel, passing the last cot, and a scribe flies out of the stairwell ahead, his robes billowing behind him as he runs towards us at full speed. I flip the dagger in my hand and pinch it by the tip, my heart starting to beat double time. Which way did they go? Rhi asked the cadet. The scribe's hood falls back, revealing red-rimmed eyes with spiderweb veins at his temples.
So you can tell that Violet is like going back to what she was, really logical and really wise about everything that is around her. She saw the scribe in this place. She knew there's no way that scribe will be here, so it has to be something else. That's why she prepared before even she saw the red eyes to get confirmation that it was a Venin.
Mm-hmm.
So we see again this Violet confident, and she was just ready to charge.
Yeah, and this is proper Venin because the spiderweb veins at his temples. Nope, definitely not a cadet. He reaches beneath his robes, but I've already flicked my wrist by the time he grabs the pommel of a sword. My dagger lodges in the left side of his chest, and his eyes bulge in shock as he falls gracelessly to the tunnel floor. His body shrivels. Interesting word. Shrivels. Varish didn't shrivel. Does that mean that he wasn't a Venin?
No, at the time when he died, maybe.
It's used... So the word shriveled, I went a little bit into this. The word shriveled is used twice in Iron Flame. Grass in the Sage Dream, so the grass shrivels.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, she uses it as her heart shrivels when she finds out about Xaden being in Tinsic. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
It's used 3 times in Fourth Wing. Melgren's eyes have always made me shrivel. How cool is that? Linking it to Melgren. I think it's an interesting use of the word.
It's using the word maybe towards something related to Venin.
Yeah, and Melgren. And I remember Rhi saying, it was Violet. It wouldn't surprise me if one day Melgren rips off a mask and he's a big bad Venin underneath. And it's used twice in Ressen. So there's a shriveled griffin in the centre of town, and Soleil and Fuel when the Venin drained the ground and Soleil couldn't run fast enough.
Yeah.
It was used then. So shrivel is used very few times, and it stands out to me as his body shrivels. It's a weird word. Anyway, his body shrivels in the span of a heartbeat. Damn, sometimes I forget how good you are at that, Rhi whispers. That wasn't whispering. Scanning our surroundings as we move forward. How did you know? Riddick asks in the same hushed tone, quickly kicking the husk of a body. So it's really shriveled. It's like a nut. Anyway, over and retrieving my blade. A scribe would have run towards the archives. I take the blade back and wrap up my hand around the hilt. So again, this feels just like they're disguised. Yes. It's not been there a long time. They're not, or they're just finally out of the woodwork.
Yeah, but again, for me, it could be just Rebecca Yarros playing around this. They just infiltrating Basgard with as scribes as they did in Iron Flame. Just pretend that everyone being scribes because the perfect disguise thing. but Cadet Samuelson is the one who triggered my alarms that not all the Venin are in the right side. They could be scribes, could be healers, could be infantry, could
we
be
don't
anyone.
have any proof that Samuelson is a Venin. He literally just said, I forgot my homework. He has a weird bag. And he checked the rotor. So it's very, very minimal suspicion on him, but
enough to come with something else.
I think he's doing something else.
Yes, but if we think about maybe colonizers is not just building an army, it's building like a super army with a Venin. And maybe he needs information. The only place that he can find it are in the archives, and they need people from the scribes to help him as well.
Yeah,
so
I think he's helped. I think Samuelson is dodgy, but I'm not sure he's Venin. That's what I say.
Yeah.
A scribe would have run back towards the archives. Who gave him the clothes if he's in disguise? And where's Markham?
Yeah, exactly.
Where the hell is Markham? Thanks. The alloy's hum of power is a little dimmer, but still there, hopefully capable of another killing blow.
I don't know if for the rest of the people it was something like really obvious, but for me it wasn't. The daggers with the alloy, once they be using to kill Venin, the magic had to run out. I thought but it was just because they lose the daggers or because they get break or something, like something that happened during war. I never thought that maybe it's just because they had to use it to kill the Venin, and then the magic it just started to run out until it turns into just a regular dagger. There's no effect in the Venin.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't think we've been told this before, but it makes absolute sense of why they need to constantly need to supply the drifts. Yeah, it makes total sense, but it's not something that I thought of before.
Yeah.
Right, this bit. How many of them had Imogen and I seen on our walk to the infirmary without even realising? Imogen wasn't in the infirmary.
Yes.
But she walked there with her. So where the hell is Imogen?
She's doing her own business.
she's AWOL. Imogen is doing something strange. She definitely was. I'm not losing it, am I? She wasn't there. It was Rhee, Sawyer, Riddick, Kat, Marin, Violet, Winifred, Wailing Infantry Boy.
Yes.
Girl. I keep doing that.
Infantry.
Wailing Infantry person.
Imogen wasn't there.
Imogen wasn't there, but how many of them had Imogen and I seen on our walk to the infirmary?
Like I said, she's kind of like the Xaden inside the revolution, because I think she's doing her own business, and the concerning thing is, I don't know if it's something good or bad overall for all this thing they're doing.
So I was having a really good chat with Bookish Moments on Instagram a while ago, and there's something about Imogen, something about her particular shade of pink hair that Quinn can't seem to get right. It's like she's desperately trying to disguise something. She's got very light green eyes, which is not a normal colour. It's like very rare. Is she wearing contacts to cover something?
Well, I don't know if they're contacts at this time, because kind of like medieval kind of like age. But the only one that I remember they had like green eyes is Arik and the King.
Yeah.
So you think that maybe they're related to royalty?
She's trying to hide
she's trying to hide from that?
Potentially. But there's something going on. Where is she? Anyway.
Yeah, and why she had to maybe white memories, because otherwise she would just arrive behind like, hey guys, I'm just catching you up or something. But no, she's like, oh, we're all together. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah. So that's how they fed without notice. They're dressed as scribes. That's a correction. When I said they're disguised as scribes, they actually said they're dressed as scribes. Same thing. They're not scribes. Mm-hmm. That's how they fed without notice. I mean, we think of vampires. They can't channel because they're in the wards. So this is what we think they're doing. They're like draining people.
Yes. Riders. Has to be riders.
Yeah, but I am confused.
Okay.
Jack, when he fought Violet on the map, when we know that he was Venin, he started channeling from the ground.
maybe from her.
Could he, though?
He was inside the walls, so maybe when you're a Venin, you can channel it. You're like a how is it called, a siphon? So maybe you can channel from different sources.
I don't know. There's so much we've got to learn about Venin, and it's in this book by Drake.
She was feeling pain when that was happening, so I wonder if maybe he was like taking her power when she was grabbing her, and that while I was hurting her, and that's why he was turning the right eye.
I don't know. It's really weird that it was pain he was putting into her. He wasn't sucking life or power out of her.
No, she said that she was feeling a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So maybe...
That's why I still think it must be his signet. Like, that's the type of signet he would have. I know that Rebecca Yarros has said it wasn't, so I'm essentially saying that Rebecca Yarros is wrong. She can't be wrong. But you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
We haven't seen another Venin doing this kind of pain, isn't it? They're always like fight with blades on the stuff. So that's why I think maybe what he was doing is stolen the power from her, because he was jealous about her having Terrence giving all this power to her. So maybe he was like, I'm gonna take it. Yes.
That's weird anyway.
Yeah.
So they're dressed as scribes. Two figures in cream robes approach from the opposite side of the tunnel, mage light shining on their first year rank, and I prepare to throw again. Drop the hoods, Ree orders. They both startle, and the cadet on the right lowers her hood quickly, but there's a slight tremble in her counterpart's hands as she complies, her wide blue eyes locked on the body at my feet. Is that? She whispers, and her friend wraps an arm around her swaying frame. Yes, I lower my blade, noting that neither of them carry red in their eyes or at their temples. Get back to the archives and warn the others. The women turn and run.
So they're actually real scribes there.
Are they, though? Nobody would know. Xaden doesn't have red rims at the end. Xaden just has his...
stage 1. But the thing is that she says that they will be running towards the archives. So... what they were doing there.
Yeah.
They're just chilling.
Helping. No, I think they're all just... they might be, like, official recorders of the aftermath of the... You don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to. I think it's just people. Up or down, Riddick asks, facing the steps. Someone shouts beneath us. Down, Rhea and I say simultaneously. Great. Riddick rolls his neck. Down the stairwell to the torture chamber where an untold number of freshly fed dark wielders wait. Good times. He takes the lead, switching his dagger to his left hand and lifting his right in preparation to wield as Rhiannon steps behind me. We edge down the stairs rapidly, keeping our backs to the stone wall, and I send up a silent thanks to Aaron Norris for building Basgiath with stone stairs instead of wooden ones, with the potential to creak or burn.
Aaron Norris. I think this is the first time that we heard that name, isn't it? But Norris is not the first time that we hear it in the books. Actually, there's a Norris, a cadet. It's called Baylor Norris. He's first introduced during the sparring match against fellow first year, Misha Levin. She easily defeats him. He joined the rebellion along with half of the Rider squadrons, and Baylor alone links. They guard the Basgiath Wardstone during the battle, and as Violet runs through the Race of the Wards. So he's been like a, let's consider like a essential, but he's been in the part of keeping the ward for protect Basgiath.
Yeah, so he's been protecting the wards.
Yeah, so I was wondering if maybe this Norris is like a descendant related, and it's like protecting everything that maybe the ancestors built. But I think there's another theory as well about Aaron Norris' name. It's quite a good one, I think.
Yeah, Carly was talking earlier about how it is an anagram. Ryerson can be made. It would be Ren Ryerson, which is like maybe Scooby-Doo saying Ren Ryerson. But it's really cool how it... And she dropped the hint this morning that there was an anagram, and I was looking, and you can get Soren Rain as well. But yeah, it's cool that you can get Ryerson in there. So full credit to Bookish is Better for that one.
Yeah.
I really like that you picked up Norris, though, Baylor Norris, because I think it could be a descendant of Aaron Norris if it isn't a jumbled up Ryerson.
Yeah.
Taryn says, pay attention to the present, not the past. It sounds just like Taryn, like snap out of it.
I found that a little bit weird, to be honest, because they were like talking about a lot of stuff, and just because Violet was saying like a silent answer and Norris, and then Taryn straight away jumps like, pay attention to the present, not to the past. I was like, well, that's a little bit too much for that little thought that she had there. I mean, I know that Violet, he is about to face some Dark Wielders as well, and Taryn is not going to be there to help, so it's all on Violet. So she needs to focus. So I don't know if I just Taryn being Taryn, or if there's something hiding about it.
Yeah, he could know more, couldn't he? I don't know.
It's just weird. Doesn't mean anything, but it's just like...
Metal clangs beneath us, the pitch varying from the ting of colliding blades to the ear-grating grasp of steel scraping against stone. But it's the maniacal laughter mixed with grunts of pain that has me hurrying faster, has power rising, crackling along my skin. Control it, Tarn orders. Shields up to block him, knowing he can still push through if he wants. Stop playing with your kill and help us get this door open, someone demands from below. If they want a cell door open, they're definitely not on our side. They've come for Jack.
Yeah, so, strange thing here. They're powerful Venin. They're being responsible to come to this point, destructing, killing. What kind of door are made those doors in the cell? They're not even a Venin. Can go.
I'm sorry,
destroy.
but anyone should be able to unlock a cell door from the outside. Like from the outside. Shouldn't be able to unlock it from the inside. It might be a padlock.
Even looking for the keys. Keys should be either with the people who are custodian the doors or hanging somewhere.
In the desk drawer, like in the interrogation, the practice interrogation. The passcode is the key is in my desk drawer.
Yeah, exactly. But there's one thing. Why they can't just punch really hard the door or use a power to unlock it or destroy something. The other thing, something that we see now, it's kind of like a Venin thing now, is they can...
Distance wield.
Yeah, they can move like short distance.
Obviously can't take
obviously they can't go through doors.
No, they might be able to go through doors. They might just not be able to take the
Jack.
person out with them, yeah.
Yeah, but Jack is a kind of Venin, should be able to do it as well. Or...
I don't think it's all of them.
Yeah,
because like
maybe second rank of Venin is the one that can do that. But actually, I don't know if the woman who disappeared...
She was just a distance wielder anyway. Like Xaden was a shadow wielder. And he's got more shadows, maybe.
I definitely think it's a Venin stuff.
Because of Bren, then?
Well, the first time we see that was with Leon, when he was looking what's going on outside of Reason. He said they were there, and then the next second they were like in the city, so they can move.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing.
It could have been the same person.
Well, I think they were like a full Venin. Yeah.
This was definitely a woman. Anyway, they've come for Jack. Why is Jack so important?
Yes, that was my other question as well. Because he's being fully mended when they supposedly don't give a shit about cadets. They're about to die. So they fully mended. They keep him alive. And now they're sending Venin to rescue him. Why? It's going to be because, like I said before, maybe he had a secret knowledge about Feathertails.
Yeah,
and the Venin
yeah, you've said that for ages, haven't you?
Yes. Because you mentioned this interaction, we're talking about this, so it could be that there's so important thing that he's obviously related to something about Feathertails that the Venin needed precisely because of that.
Yeah, or he knows how to take down the wards. Perhaps he's the only one that knows how to take down the wards. Varish learnt that in the interrogation because he read Lyra's journal.
Yes.
And he said this could be a map to take down the wards. So Varish knew, but he's dead. Jack knows because he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if they're trying to get him because he knows how to take down the wards.
Not sure about it, because I used to think that maybe once you turn into a Venin, you highlight this knowledge all available for you. So when Jack was in the War Stone, he was about to destroy it, the Venin were outside waiting for him to do it. So that was like a coordinate attack with Jack knowing everything. So why they don't know exactly how to destroy it when they be maybe connected with Jack's mind as well. So he's maybe like, I know how to do it. This is what we need to do. And they were like, okay, you do that and we'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, but does that mean now Xaden has access to this hive mind and he can...
That's why I think that maybe all depend on your level of Venin. Maybe when you're on Xaden's level, no, you have like some of the power, not all the power.
But Jack doesn't have distended veins, so he's still an initiate.
We don't know exactly because he's being contained, isn't it? They're still giving like this serum.
Yeah, but if he's being contained, he's not channeling, so he's not becoming the next level.
Yeah, but I'm talking about before he was meant. Maybe he was already at second level or something. When Violet started this lining, he thought he would nearly die. He was meant. And then they given this serum to control him. So
when would he have become more than an initiate? When the rocks were on top of him?
We don't know exactly how...
But he was walking around. Yeah, he was walking around before that. Like, he stabbed Liam on the top of his dragon. You would know. She would have recognised if he'd have had distended veins on his temples.
Well, he was in channeling at that moment, isn't it? He was still doing it as himself.
Yeah, but I think they're not channeling.
No.
Because they're not channeling in the brick.
Inside.
So I just don't see how he's any more than an initiate.
But then we had to ask them how he managed to be an initiative, because he was inside before being a Venin. He wanted to
Seems
get the
like
dragon.
You can channel if you're inside, like if it's your first. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. There's so much to learn. Yeah. I'm sure they're not plot holes. I'm sure they'll be.
I know there will be explanations about it. Yeah.
How many guards are on Barlow? Riddick whispers as we near the turn in the staircase that will expose us to whoever waits beneath. 2, Rhiannon's answer is quickly muffled by the sound of a low and painful scream. Make that 1, I reply, readying my hand to throw. The antechamber of the brig comes into view, and my gaze flies over the all-too-familiar space, taking quick stock of our situation. 2 dark wielders, dressed in scribe robes, yank at the unmoving door handle to Jack's cell, while a female pulls her ruby-hilted sword across the neck of a second lieutenant, who's been pinned to the thick table with daggers through his hands. Gross. Ruby-hilted sword? Do you think that was odd?
Yes, definitely. They have to have a meaning, but I don't know what would be.
There's only one other mention of ruby-hilted and rubies in Fourth Wing, and one of Violet's original daggers is ruby-hilted.
Yes.
So, interesting that there's a ruby-hilted and Violet has a ruby-hilted dagger.
Yeah. So it
Are
could
they
be
linked? Where did she get it from?
Sensity or...
Yeah, where did she get it from? And a 4th stands at the edge of the shadows. Her long silver braid swings free of her hood as her attention whips in our direction, and her eerie red gaze jumps to mine and widens slightly under a faded tattoo on her forehead. So much here.
Oh, yes.
Right, so Vanessa, A Trove of Crafts, Jen, Lanny... Too many people to remember. Sorry, everyone who I missed wanted us to talk about this long silver braid and the silver hair.
For me, this is a confirmation. Silver hair is related to Venin. And that came for me with a theory as well. So, my theory now is that, yes, Mommy Sorrengail, she was channeling for some reason. when she was pregnant from Violet.
To save her baby, maybe.
It could be, but she was really poorly. Maybe she was dying, and then she said, okay, I need to do... Well, she said it before, I will do anything for my children. I don't want to die, leave Brennan and Mira alone, and I don't want to lose the baby. So she channeled, maybe. Maybe Daddy Sorrengail, he started trying to control the Venin, because I know by this point, they were in a big rank as well. She wasn't maybe the general, but she was like just below. So Daddy Sorrengail, he finds something to control, not to cure, to control. But the stuff that he's doing, maybe to control the Venin side, to save the baby as well, was something related with feather tails. Maybe he could have something from the eggs, from blood of the feather tails, something related to the dragons. So I think Violet is like a hybrid between Venin with dragon power. So she's like a perfect fusion between the two things, Venin and dragons. Then, my other theory here, what if Daddy Sorrengail died not because he found out about the Venin, everything was going on with leadership, but about if he died because he found the cure, and the people who run in the place, they don't want the cure. They find that as a threat, and that's why they managed to kill Daddy Sorrengail, make it look like it was his heart. Because I think everything started with Fenrir's interrogation. We think that maybe Daddy Sorrengail was there. He found out maybe that Brennan turned into a Venin, and Fenrir's has to shoot him with an arrow because he was killing Venin. So maybe he told her, I had to kill your son because he was a Venin. So Daddy Sorrengail, maybe he was researching for the cure already. He felt guilty that Brennan died because he might, if he found the cure before, none of this will happen. Nobody will be fighting because of the Venin. So maybe he feel guilty, and then he just start focus and I need to find the cure. He found it, and then they kill him, or they make it look like his heart failed, and they're desperate looking for the research, because in the research is when we find the cure for the Venin.
And they want to destroy it.
They want to destroy it.
Yeah.
They want to keep the Venin. I think they're trying to use the Venin as an evolution for the new riders, but they want these new powerful riders, but having under control of that little elite with Colonel Athos leading these kind of things, and we don't know if maybe this little elite goes to Melgrin as well, because they've been kind of like a foreshadowing that maybe Melgrin will be a Venin as well.
Yeah.
So the silver hair comes from this, that she's the daughter of the Venin, and that will explain maybe why this woman has silver hair. She's a Venin. Why Sorry, she has a streak of silver hair, and she was scared of Violet. So maybe that silver hair is related how much Venin power you have, and maybe Sorry knows. Maybe because she has this little streak.
A little bit, she's not got a lot of Venin power.
Yes, and maybe she knows about it. And then when she saw Violet with half silver hair, she was like, shit.
So, this theory, though, that means if you are born and you're part Venin, not if you just all of a sudden turn Venin. Because Xaden's got no silver hair, and you mean it's like a hereditary...
you turn in, or maybe you born as a Venin. You're
born as a Venin.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so in this case, Violet, she will have like a hybrid blood between Venin and Dragon.
Yeah, we had some comments from Lanny. Lanny thinks it's potentially Violet's real mum. That was the first comment. I really like that, but I do I'm leaning to the fact that Lilith is Violet's mum, because we hear about pregnancy, we hear about
she'd been there when she was little.
She clearly cares a lot about, I'm saying clearly, in her own way, not any. She's
been doing everything to protect her, not to Violet to love her.
Yeah.
So you make sure that Violet survives.
But then she followed up with that. What if she's Xaden's mum? So this one was really interesting. People think it might be a bit weird, but I don't know. The fact that Xaden has such a, like, he likes Violet's silver hair, or it might be a comfort thing, a home thing, that maybe his mum always had silver hair.
Or maybe as Rebecca Yarros telling us there's something related to say that mommy issues. Well, mommy issues, like...
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
I like it because we see this woman disappear. Maybe she can sense Xaden coming and she just disappeared before Xaden can
but she
recognize
leaves
her.
in a weird way. So her red gaze jumps to mine and widens slightly under a faded tattoo on her forehead. We'll come back to the tattooed forehead.
Yeah.
My blood chills when a smirk tilts her mouth. That's not nice. Like, a smirk is like it's you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just have real hopes that Xaden's mum is good. I liked it. It's cool.
Yeah. I think, well, from my personal point of view, I think we will see Xaden's mom, but I definitely think she will gonna be something related to royalty, or she will gonna be like the leader of the island. So it's gonna have like a big role, not just Venin, and definitely not Venin. They has to go to rescue Jack Barlow. That would be like too low for such a big character, I think.
Yeah, what is she doing there if it is? So, the tattoo on her forehead.
Yeah, you know, what was the first thing I thought? There could be maybe a rebellion relic or something, that she was kind of like camouflage. But so far we had seen the older rebellions like in the arms, on the hand.
Because they're holding the stone.
Yes.
Unless she was like, I've got the stone on my forehead. No, I feel like this woman is older and I don't know why. Potentially it's a rune. I just feel like if it was a rune, you would expect Violet to say a rune.
Yeah.
Because when Brennan puts his hand up and she sees the rune on his palm, doesn't she say a rune?
She says it's a rune. The only thing that we don't know is what kind of rune it is.
Yeah. Anyway, it could be a rune. It could be a tattoo. It's a face tattoo. It's a regular face tattoo, but I doubt it. So it must mean something.
So, yeah. It's weird. And the forehead. Yeah.
My thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I think I tend to agree that it's like a Venin by birth thing. I think if your mother or father is Venin, you have a bit of this silver.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she is the daughter of General Darramore and she's like a big person and she's dashing off to tell them that. And because I think Suri's mum is Venin or dad is Venin.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the daughter of a Venin. And I think Lilith was Venin when she had Violet.
When she was pregnant.
Yeah, so I kind of, I'm like in the same boat as you, but I think it's a Venin by birth situation. My blood chills when a smirk tilts her mouth, distorting the red veins at her temples, and then she disappears.
Yes. Again, Venin doing this like distance wielder trick, and precisely this why I said a couple of times, that's why I think Brennan is a Venin.
I think Brennan's good, but I do think he's a Venin.
Yeah, I think
I think
maybe
he's like Xaden.
Yes, I think the rune is related to maybe control that, but at the beginning of Iron Flame, where Brennan is talking with Violet, and he has to go because there's an assemble.
He disappears.
He disappeared, basically.
Yeah.
Violet just go after him, and he's not there. And she said, "Oh, it must be in a hurry because it's nowhere to see."
So I was really suspicious about Brennan until we prepped for the episode that we should have been doing tonight, which was chapters 37 to 40. I can't see how he's bad. But anyway, we'll get to that. Probably next week. The disappears thing, yeah, we know that the sage or the maven, potentially, anyway, whoever it was at Ressen, we know that they could do that because Liam saw them and then all of a sudden they were there. Brennan does something a bit weird and this woman disappears. I blink against the sudden breeze that rustles a loosened strand of my braid, then stare at the empty space she'd occupied. So, well, I think there's the ... there because we're supposed to think that she is imagining it. We're supposed to think that we're questioning whether she's imagining it or whether it's actually real.
Yes.
There's a mention of the breeze that rustles a loosened strand of my braid. That is there, obviously, to try and link you back to remind you that her hair is the same as the silver.
Yeah.
It's a really random placement otherwise. It's so descriptive. And Rebecca Yarros, while she is descriptive, she's never she's never that descriptive. A loosened strand of my braid. I don't think, unless it's there for a reason. So I'm sure it's there to link you back to that silver-haired Venin and Violet's hair. At least I think she had. So that's again, it's then stare at the empty space she'd occupied. At least I think she had. That's again to question, like, was she there? Was she not there? Is it premonition? Is it something else?
Yeah.
Am I seeing things now? Again, questioning. Ree gasps behind me and my focus jolts to the imprisoned guard. Blood floods the table from the rider's wound and I swallow back the burn of acid in my throat, catching sight of two corpses to the left, one in cream, the other in black. The female with the jewelled sword at the table pivots, her short blonde hair smacking her sharp cheekbones as she turns in our direction, revealing branches of red veins at her temples. I flick my wrist just in case this one disappears too. Riders, her alarm dives with my blade lodged into the middle of her throat. Gross. Riddick rushes the two at the door, but they are ready, one drawing a sword that Riddick blocks with a thick band of ice.
Yeah, I think this may be the first time we actually see Riddick using the signet, and that's actually really useful.
No, we see it in the battle at the end of Iron Flame.
He used the eyes as a shield. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. A wall.
Yeah.
It blocks with a thick band of ice.
Yeah.
I throw my remaining dagger at the other as I jump the last two steps, but the dark-haired Venin moves unnaturally fast, dodging the strike. My blade bounces off the stone wall behind him as I run towards the rider bleeding out on the table. Fuck. Ree leaps over the female's body, headed for Riddick, and I continue on, keeping an eye on the one I missed. The Venin swings his arm and a shape flies towards me. "Drop Vi!" Riddick shouts, throwing his hand out, palm down, and a chill sweeps over the front of my legs as spikes rush at my face. I hit my knees and slide along a small sheet of ice as the mace whips over my head, slicing through the air with a whistle. When I first read this, I thought Riddick was like shooting ice, but he's not. He's put ice on the floor.
It's kind of like Elsa, isn't it?
Yeah, like a floor of ice, and then he's throwing the mace. They're like, a mace? Who uses a mace? That's a really old-fashioned weapon.
That's what I said. It's like really medieval.
Yeah, like we have crossbows and crossbolts and crossbows, and so it kind of is medieval, isn't it? But a mace, is this the first time we've had mace mentioned? Because that feels very old.
Yeah,
suggesting
I don't know if
might be.
It's because they're growing their arms they just have available at that moment, and it's like weapons that nobody uses, and that's why they're still there. It's the only one they have.
It's a torture weapon. Varish has left it lying around. Not the silver hair, the dark wielder with the sword bellows, and I scramble to my feet, slipping on the blood-covered stone. We need her.
Yeah, this is what I think is depend on your rank. You are like connected to all the knowledge from the Venin. Because there's some Venin they want to kill Violet, and the other one they say, oh, the silver one, like, we want you. Like, we have orders to keep you alive.
Not the silver hair.
Yeah, not the silver one.
Yeah.
Should be. It's weird.
We need her. Right, why do they need her? It's got to be some kind of prophecy, hasn't it? Because she's assuming to control Xaden, fuck that, I'll never be used against him again.
Yeah, I don't know why she thinks that, because it's obvious the big boss of the Venin wants her power.
I know, but it's obvious that Xaden loves her, and it's obvious she misses for an intelligent girl. Like, I love Violet, she's my favourite, but she doesn't want to believe stuff. She doesn't want to believe that she's important. She doesn't want to believe... Like, her mother, if you think about the type of character she is, her mother has never given her reason to think she's special. And her dad, maybe, but he was more about, like, preparing her for stuff, not really about saying how great she was, I'd imagine. So when you grow up with that, I would say that she probably does have a hard time thinking she's great, because her mother doesn't even think she's great, or she doesn't let her know that she does.
I think in the part when she says, she thinks I'm just a liability.
I'm a liability, yeah. So she just genuinely believed that, and so her natural thing is to think that somebody doesn't like her, or that that she's only needed because somebody else is needed. A lot of people are asking why it says again, used against him again. I tend to think this was because Varys used her.
Yes.
To get to him.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people speculating that could be something else that we're not. But I honestly think it's that. It's linking back to the interrogation.
Yeah, I had a few thoughts about this. So she thinks that everything is because Xaden. We know as well that Xaden has 9 miles about Venin as well. I think there's these two paths between Violet and Xaden are really similar. And then I start to think about maybe there's something here. And I come with this crazy theory as well. Ooh, another one. So we know that Violet is pure power. So we think that maybe she's kind of light. Xaden is completely opposite. He is basically a dark wielder. Mm-hmm. He controls the darkness. So I was thinking that, okay, what is Fourth Wind is being referred as enemies to lovers. I never saw it like that, but it's pretty much how it's recognized.
It is, but Rebecca Yarros doesn't say that.
No, but you know that Rebecca Yarros likes to do really twist plots.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what about if maybe it's gonna be the opposite? It's gonna be lovers to enemies, because I think Violet is just hear me out before. I think Violet is the key to eradicate all the Venin. That's why the Venin want her as well. They want to take her for kind of work for them, or just to use her, so she's not being used to eradicate all the Venin, because she's pure power. So maybe she's the connection between the sky and the ground, and she's the one who eventually will be eradicate all the one who channel from the ground, with lightning or a storm or something. But what about if Xaden is maybe a prophecy for the Venin, a dark wielder, or somebody that be controlling the dark to fight against the lightning wielder or the Violet in this case. So I think maybe they're having really similar path, but they're gonna be opposite. So
Rebecca Yarros has confirmed that.
I'm not saying they're gonna be enemies by the end of the books, and they're going to one of them have to die. I think this is gonna be built. That maybe we'll find out that they're gonna be destined to destroy each other. There's gonna be light against darkness, and only one can survive. So that's how it's gonna be built, and then something's going to happen. They're gonna be together. So I think this is how it's going. But by the end, yes,
that would
Xaden and Violet, they're gonna be together, because we know they are endgame. But this is what I think: light and darkness. It's kind of like the yin and yang going together, and this is Violet and Xaden.
So Xaden could be destined to destroy.
I don't know if I like to destroy, but fight against. So he's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm just trying to link this. This is very similar to the Harry Potter prophecy. Spoilers, if you haven't read Harry Potter, go and read it. Because it's kind of neither can live while the other survives. That means one of them has to survive. But if it could be that they both destroy each other and everything's
just finish balance.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be destroyed because of Andana.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. No, that's why I think how it's been built.
It's not going to be lovers to enemies.
At some point, I think it's going to be they had to destroy each other, or their destiny to destroy each other.
Their love isn't fickle. Right, mine now re-shouts, and when I glance left, she's swinging the mace at its previous owner, giving me time to get to the twitching rider on the table. Hold on, I tell him, reaching for his throat to staunch the bleeding, but I pause as his last breath rattles his chest and he falls limp. What does she think she can do? Does she think she can save him?
I think she was maybe just checking how bad it is, and then she just went too late. Maybe to like, if I should do some pressure, it will save him. But nothing to do.
I wonder if it's related to our second signet. Something about this that's making me feel weird, even though I am in the truth-sayer camp. There's nothing in this.
Yeah. But what about if that woman, the Venin, is actually part of her signet? What about if she is like having visions of future? So she's like having like a real deja vu or vision predictions. So she can see things before it happens, and maybe we will see this happening for real later on.
Yeah, when does that happen in Iron Flame though? Just the dreams. It's not really a vision, is it? It's just a dream. Don't know. I don't.
Well, we have to see what happened
with
with Turn when he's given the back. You know, there's been a couple of times that she maybe.
Yeah, but that's a dream. That's not a like physical manifestation of something. Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. Sorry. Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah, I'm just giving my random thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone. My heart clenches for all of a beat before I draw 2 more daggers and turn towards my friends. The black-haired Venin moves in a blur, ducking beneath the mace Rhiannon swings, then appears before me like he'd been standing there all along. Fast. They're too damn fast. It's like, mentions it too many times that the Venin are fast, and it makes me think of Imogen. She's the one and I'm really fast. My heart jolts as I jerk my dagger to his throat, and he studies me with sickening excitement in his red eyes. Power floods my veins, heating my skin and lifting the hair along my arms. Ah, the lightning wielder. You're a long way from the sky, and we both know you can't kill me with that knife, he taunts. And the veins along his temples pulse as Rhys sneaks up behind him, her alloy-hilted dagger poised to strike. Anything to say about that before I get to the really, really cool bit?
No, just waiting for that moment.
So, just on the dagger, we know that you can't kill me with that knife. Is that just because it's run out, or is it because it's a non-alloy hilted one?
Yeah, I think it could be just because she's been using it so many times that it's just a regular dagger now. Or unless maybe he's so fast and he's so good that she had no chance to stab him with that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's just really confident.
Yeah.
Shadows quake at the edges of the chamber, and a corner of my mouth rises. I won't have to. His eyes flare in confusion for all of a millisecond before shadows explode around us, immediately devouring every speck of light in a sea of endless black I instantly recognize as home.
So she's embracing the dark.
Yeah, brave the dark. A band of darkness wraps around my hips and yanks me backward, then brushes my cheek gently, steadying my galloping heartbeat and quieting my power. Screams fill the chamber, followed by a pair of thuds, and I know without a doubt any threat to my life has been extinguished. A heartbeat later, the shadows retreat, revealing the shriveled bodies of dark wielders on the floor, alloy-hilted daggers embedded in their chests. I lower my weapons as Xaden strides towards me from the centre of the room, the hilts of the 2 swords he keeps strapped to his back peeking above his shoulders. He's in thick winter flight leathers, devoid of any markings but his 2nd lieutenant rank, and speckled with tiny dots of water that tell me he's been out in the snow. 2nd lieutenant, the same rank as Barlow's guards had been. He can obviously perfectly see in the dark, can't he? Like, he doesn't have any trouble seeing in the dark. But he didn't get Rhiannon or Riddick. He did really well.
Well, we don't know exactly like how
Little
it
hands.
works with the... No, but you know that when he said the shadows are everywhere, they tell me everything, and I don't know if maybe when he's like with shadows, it's like the shadows is like just extended her senses, so he can see, he can...
Does he just like think about what needs to be done in it?
Yeah, so maybe in this scene where he has covered the whole room, he can see perfectly what's going on, and then that's why he can.
Well, he maybe can't see, but he can sense, and he just knows.
Not like physically see with the
In
eyes,
his
but he
mind.
knows what's going on. Yes.
Yeah. So he's wearing thick winter flight leathers, which means he's been flying. That's where he's been, and I just think he was out on patrol. I genuinely do. I don't think he's been out anywhere massively far.
Well, but he comes back with this like new rank, or lieutenant.
Yeah, because I think they had this like rush ceremony the day after. In the morning, they're like, "Look, everyone's dead. You're now promoted.
Congratulations, you're still alive.
Yeah,
Second lieutenant.
have a promotion." Everyone's second lieutenant. It's weird. Like they keep saying, and everyone, and this person is, and this person is, and this person. It's just weird, isn't it? Like they all are. Anyway, the same rank as Barlow's guards had been, the same as Garrick, who was standing at the base of the steps behind Xaden, and almost every other officer temporarily stationed here to protect Basgaiath. Right. Yes. What has happened? Have they all been offered a promotion to stay? Because Xaden is wearing second lieutenant leathers and a patch. Who's given that to him? Brennan or Melgren? Who is he fighting for, and who is he protecting Basgaiath for? Because I think there's a natural assumption from everyone that I've read today, or I've not really heard it, and I'm like, forgive me, if I've missed it, but nobody's kind of asking the question. What about the rebellion? Is he fighting for Erasure? Is he fighting for Navarre? Are they now one and the same? Are they just because they've joined forces? If he's there to protect Basgaiath, you assume he's fighting for, well, I guess he's just fighting for the continent. But it's weird. Something's happened, hasn't it? Like in the ranks of the Navarrian army.
I think maybe he's now fighting for
the continent.
Tauri. Yes, because there's no way the leadership can come with something to cover up all the things that happen, all the Venin coming to Basgen to attack, all the dead people of the Venin, all the wyverns. So it's just too much. I think this is like the point where, boom, we have to change the strategy because there's no way.
There's no rebellion anymore. It is just a war.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, Venin are threatening our kingdom. Now we had to do something. So maybe they come with, oh, we didn't know anything about it. Now we're going to fight against the Venin, and we have people working for us to do it. So I think maybe he's just like a second lieutenant for Basgaiath.
Yeah, I mean, the shit's really hit the fan. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. So there's no point to keep hiding it. I don't think that's even possible. So they had just to suck it up and maybe not say that, oh yeah, we knew all this time and we just haven't hidden. They might come with, we didn't know and we just found out. Oh my God.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah. And this is confirmation that Xaden is stationed at Basgaiath.
Yeah.
So almost every other officer temporarily stationed here.
Yes.
Is temporary. My heart stutters and my gaze rakes over Xaden's tall, muscled frame, searching for any sign of injury. Just, she always does that, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's the same that Mira does with her, like checking she's found the first time they see each other.
Yeah, that's another thing though for me. Like, I've never, ever, ever thought that Violet might be a mender. But 2 parts of this make me think she could be a mender. But I'm not going to
be swayed anymore.
No, I'm not going to be swayed. I'm not going to be swayed. Gold-flecked onyx eyes meet mine and my breath stabilizes, only when I realize he's unharmed and there isn't a single trace of red to be found anywhere near his irises. Yay, Xaden!
No, something that I heard or I saw somewhere, I can't remember what exactly it was. So, the reason that you can see Xaden with red eyes is because he's using his shadows to hide them. I thought it was like really cool, so I don't think it's happening. But imagine if maybe all that description all along, those onyx eyes.
He's actually got golden eyes like a dragon. He's a dragon, but he's just got the shadows that onyx.
Yes, he managed to just create little shadows in the eyes, and that's why they look so dark. There's not even natural dark. It's just shadow dark. Yes.
I like it, but
same. I like it, but I don't think it's
I think it's quite cool is that Xaden's eyes are onyx, which you could say represents tan because he's got an onyx. Well, it's an orange flow, but anyway, he's like black. Then gold flecks representing Andana before she became whatever colour she is. Camouflage.
Camouflage colour.
Yeah. So, but anyway, his eyes are normal.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, on one of our friends on Instagram, said no red, so not channeling from the earth. And I agree with this. I think he's obviously in control. He's not been channeling. He's still an initiate because Violet says so in a second. And this is where it feels like Vi and Xaden, feels like it's still a secret between them. Whether Garrick knows, I don't know. We'll have to find out. He may technically be an initiate, but he's nothing like the Venin we just fought. Gods, I love this man. Tell me something, Violence. A muscle in his square jaw ticks as he stares down at me, rippling the tawny brown skin of his stubble cheek. Why is it always you? You should do that bit.
Why is it always you? Yeah, that is the end.
Why is it always Violet? It's because they're after her, obviously.
Yeah, that was weird, but I think maybe he was just ironic, like funny, ironic.
Yeah, he's being
why
funny.
always you? But thinking about Xaden's side now, that onyx color with golden flecks, I think there's gonna be something behind that. It's not just Violet being described as, I don't know, like in love or being poetic. I think maybe Rocallaros is hiding
They're
something
destined
behind.
to be together. It's to do with, I think that's like, yeah. What is really clear is colour is a big theme, isn't it, of this series. You have gold, you have the dragons, you have the fire from the wyverns. Like, colours is quite significant in this series.
Yes.
And I love this excerpt. I mean, it gives us so much, but it also doesn't give us enough. And we need to wait until the 21st of January to get it all.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm still surprised about how many information have been given away about Onyx Storm. You think about the blood, you think about that excerpt from the cover from Onyx Storm, because that's something as well. When they are in the amphitheater, they're like training cadets.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's maybe after this.
Yeah.
So maybe they're maybe in somewhere else. They're not in Basquiat. Could be maybe in Cordell.
Yeah, I did think they could be in Cordon because of the kind of that they were fighting in. But now, after this, I think they're just training cadets, and potentially they've built somewhere at Basguys. But it could be Cordon. I just get really bad vibes from Takaris. I don't really want to go back there. It's like, how would they house all the cadets? Like, it's just not a very good place to be, is it? Because they said it wouldn't really do well under siege. It's like a glass palace, basically. I don't know. I don't get...
Well, we know that Catriona and Serena, they are really close to Takaros. That maybe they're training just flyers. Now it's going to say that everything has been exposed about the Venin and the Wyvern. Maybe now Navarre, they're more willing to share knowledge, share weapons, training people.
Yeah, because now they fought for them.
Yeah, so now like, okay, now we are all together against the Venin because they're coming for us and they're coming strong.
Yeah.
So maybe that's one of the reasons. But like this, just in this, there are around 3,000 words. That's a lot, considering that maybe the book will have, I don't know, let's going to say 120,000 words. Quite a lot. It's quite a lot. But if you compare like Fourth Wing with Iron Flame was bigger than Fourth Wing. So for me, this telling me as well that Onyx Storm is going to be a big book because all the information that's already revealed, and with this trend that Rocallaros is doing. So I think Onyx Storm is going to be a big chunk.
Do you think we'll find out before it's released how big it is?
I don't know if we had information on Amazon.
We've seen the side of it, but it was before it was printed, so I don't know if it was a random guess.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been a random guess. It probably would have been quite
estimated, I would say.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe now you can maybe go to Amazon and check how many words is, so at least you know the length.
So we've covered what was in the chapter, and I just wanted to kind of take a bit of time just to say what wasn't in the chapter. There wasn't a lot of hints about Truthsayer. Well, wasn't any,
No.
unless I missed them.
No, but I think it's just because we just started the book. So we finished Iron Flame. We started right away Onyx Storm. So
Yeah.
I think this is the beginning on Onyx Storm. And they're not going to say anything about Truthsayer because she's still not controlling the first signet.
Yeah, but the only thing that I thought of was that she knew. So she said stuff like, a scribe would be running towards the archives. But actually, could she detect the lie? Could she detect that it wasn't a scribe and it was a disguise? And that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably shooting an arrow at the wall and drawing a target on it afterwards. And like looking for stuff that supports my theory when it might not be there. Brennan, not there. Imogen, suspiciously mentioned like she should be there but not there. Bodhi, missing. And he does go a bit missing at the end of Iron Flame. Mira, not there.
For me, that thing that is missing as well, any reference about Daddy Sorrengail.
Yeah.
They did the funeral, she get burned.
I think she will have a funeral.
Is she actually dead?
Yeah, she actually did. Good point. If she's dead, then she'll have a funeral. Sloane, Auric, where are they all?
Yeah, I'm guessing they may be in patrol or something. Maybe we'll get more information.
Resting. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still enough to give us some theories.
Yeah. I'm just so that's why I'm saying it. What's not there? Like, where are they? Like, interesting. Mira.
That's a girl. I mean, we just assuming that she was flying with Xaden, but actually,
Andana was there. Andana was commenting. Tan was commenting, but just the things that it didn't give us. Dane,
Markham, or
Nolan,
even Melgren, because there's no general right now who is running the place. It's a Panchek. Athos is coming back after that massive, like Colonel Athos. It's coming back after this massive fight when they lose so many people.
Could be.
I think that's it. Nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean, just every little bit we get. We just want January the 21st to come sooner. Yeah, that was like a real detailed deep dive. More than we would normally do. Normally we get through like at least 3 chapters in this time. So if you've made it this far, well done. If we missed stuff, come over and have a chat with us. There were some really cool things coming through from our friends on Instagram, and I've got loads more, so I'll share them to stories because we really love hearing your theories. That's all from this excerpt, which I woke up this morning and basically the world was on fire. The Empyrean world was on fire.
Yeah, we definitely want to be part of this as well. So many things to share.
Yeah, so thanks so much for listening to us literally dissect every line of the bonus excerpt.
Just remember that you can follow us on Instagram and Fairly Fantasy Pod, as well we are on TikTok. Join us on our website where we have all these things that we've been talking about. The excerpt is right there as well. Remember, it's faithfullyfantasy.com. We hope you have enjoyed this episode, and we're coming back next week with more Faithfully Fantasy.